Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the J&J Talk Show. Is everyone in the studio able to hear me now? Or are we good? Thumbs up if we're good, everybody. I got Jake saying that we're good. Trey, can I get a thumbs up if we're good? Can you hear me? All right. Well, I'm going to begin, and I apologize by the intro. I don't apologize about the intro. There was a little bit of technical difficulties, but let me get to you what was recorded, and I'm just going to read it back to you guys. So, paying tribute to the legendary John Madden. John Earl Madden was American football coach and sportscaster. He was the head coach for the Oakland Raiders and for 10 years taking them to the Super Bowl in 1977. After retiring from head coach, John would join the NFL's color commentator, winning 16 Sport Emmy Awards. As a broadcaster, John worked for all the big networks: CBS, ABC, Fox, and even NBC. He was a commercial pitchman for various products and fronted the Madden NFL video games. John Madden was inducted to the 2006 Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm going to come up with a separate quick video and post separately about more because you guys didn't get the chance to hear the entire audio during the first 3 minutes. And I apologize. But, anyways, great way to start off the show. Well, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? It is a beautiful Thursday, December 30th, 2021, the last episode of the J&J Talk Show, at least for now. And we'll talk about that in a second. And before I kind of get right down to business, I want to kind of share a little bit. So, we had a great show back on Monday morning. We really did. It was a great show. But the issues that we had is after the show, I started maybe feeling a little bit under the weather. To come Tuesday morning, it feels like a freight train hit me, and was sick. Got was sneezing and all that stuff. So, but originally I went to go get tested. It wasn't COVID, which is thank goodness. It was just a nice cold I've had, and I'm kind of still fighting for it. So I apologize in my throat and my sinus flare ups if we cough throughout the program. We try to make it not into the mic, obviously, and as a distraction. But it feels like everyone else in the studio is kind of up and down with the weather. But we have 2 hours for you today, and we're excited to bring on. I would be honest with you, if I'm a little sad to see this last episode of the J&J Talk Show be held. Now, I don't know. Maybe this is a temporary hold. We don't know down the future. I mean, but right now, will be the last episode of the J&J Talk Show. Come Sunday, we will have ourselves a brand new talk show in our podcast called the J and Trey Podcast, coming to you starting at 9 p.m. on YouTube. So you guys want to tune in, stick around for that. Don't want to miss out. All right. Well, so here's the plan for the day. I got a few things I got to get over with, and then we'll bring Jake and Trey in, and we'll get ready for what's to come. In hour number 2, we got the NFL Week 17 here. Don't forget, there's no NFL games tonight. NFL has only made games up until Week 16 typically, so they didn't plan for Week 17, and that's fine by me. It's not like I'm watching it anyways. So we'll break down, give you our picks, give you what's going on and all that stuff in hour number 2. We'll also talk a little bit about NCAA college playoffs as Cincinnati gets ready to take on Alabama and Georgia gets ready to take on Michigan. That will be tomorrow night on New Year's Eve. Then I also, back on Sunday, we tried a game, Jake and Cordy, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to take the full responsibility to that one. That was completely my fault because I did not enlighten them about the gameplay um, properly, and it turned into a disaster. So that is completely my fault. They had they were set up for disaster and because of the hands of me. So I apologize. But we have going to bring in a new game that we're going to try today. I think this is much funner. It's about sports, and it's going to be for both Trey and Jake. So that's going to come up also in hour number 2. Coming up here in just about 20 minutes, though, we're going to have another bare knuckle fighter come on our show. It was interesting because last Thursday, Jake reaches out to us and say, "Hey, listen, I got a bare knuckle fighter in the Killer Bee going to be on Monday. We got to do a show Monday." I'm like, "Great." So we pulled strings, we made things work. We got a show out done Monday. Great interview. Not even 2 hours after the show, Jake reaches back out, Jake reaches back out and says, "Hey, I got another guest for this Thursday." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that's amazing. That's perfect." And so we have another guest that's coming to your way here in the StreamYard studios. Okay, that's where we're at. We're in the StreamYard studios. That's coming up here in about 20 minutes. Okay, so I want to kind of go over a few things here really fast. I want to bring them on in just 1 minute. I want to go ahead and talk about what's coming up on Sunday as we make our change into the Jay and Trey podcast live January 2nd, 2022, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Okay. And we're going to have a big guest coming on our show. Local NWF star King Tyan will be on our show on 9:30. Don't want to miss out here. We also, we've been pulling some strings. I know Trey's definitely excited to be bringing Titan on. I want to make sure it stays clean. I don't know about that. We'll see, depending how Trey handles himself. I do want to also give a special talking about NWF. Okay, they have themselves a couple events coming up. And throughout the entire month of January, they're going to have a winter war games in at Bone Crushers Academy, which is down in Cincinnati. And so if you guys are available and have nothing to do on Friday nights, head down there and you support the local wrestling programs. But on Saturday, January 8th, at Mount Orab in Southern Ohio, they're going to have a promotion. They're going to have an event. Main event is going to be Noah Gabriel versus Sinclair Octavius Bentley for the Tri-State Championship. So if you guys are looking for something to do the first weekend of the new year, head on out to NWF in Mount Orab. And then you're going to want to head into, because the weekend after that, we're also going to have another event. NWF is going to have another event down there in Covington. All right. The Wrestle Blast, kind of like a Star Wars theme. We're going to see the return of the Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater. Okay, so all month long, NWF is doing phenomenal things. If you want to reach out, if you guys want to follow their schedule, reach out to them, find out what's coming up, head on over to nwfwrestling.com. NWF is much more of a family. We just met a few weeks ago another local podcast in our area, and their names are Steve and Dwaylen with Armchair Booking podcast, and they're available on all audio streams: Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. If they're not on there's not an audio podcast findings that you can't find them on. And so we've kind of been talking about them the last couple episodes. They reached a shout out to us. Matter of fact, I actually just took advantage of one of their deals. They were their merchandise page was selling shirts at discount rates. I just bought myself an Armchair Booking shirt last night before the deal ended, and because I want to support the local their promotion as well. So Armchair Booking, you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're on YouTube as well, and they're looking to expand. With that being said, I have some big announcements that's definitely great to leading into next year. I just added ourselves. So you are able to watch us live on YouTube. And when we welcome you guys in, whether it's live, whether it's later, hit that like, share, subscribe button. All right. We also leave us a comment down below. I also want to, we could also listen to us on Spotify, but I have just added ourselves on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. So now there is no reason why you guys are not able to follow us at all. Okay. So, with that being said, let's bring in the crew. Done enough talking, um, and I'll figure in the other things throughout the show. So, without further ado, the one and only Jake. Good morning to you, Jake. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Besides, some issues, feel a little bit stuffy, but I can't really complain. Just happy to get a chance to be here on the show with the special guest we have, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a great show
Mhm.
today. And
I think so too, and I apologize for you, both you and Trey, because I had an audio set up for the
yeah,
John Madden tribute. It was supposed to be playing, but apparently everything was muted during the air. So it took 3.5 minutes away from the actual tribute that we're supposed to be playing off of. So, I apologize to you guys for taking up the extra 3 minutes of our time here. But hey, listen, now I know you have friends tuning in, friends and family tuning in to us. But
yeah,
how do you feel now? Apple Podcast, Google Podcast.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
there's really no
I
way that you
mean,
can't miss our episode.
no, I mean, especially since some people prefer Apple Music or even over Spotify, this is a great
Hmm.
opportunity for them to be able to get a chance to check us out on Apple Music and on Apple Podcasts and of course Google Podcasts. This is a great chance for y'all to get a chance to listen to any of our shows. I mean, I can't wait, and I encourage everyone to go check it out.
Right? No, definitely excited. And I'm excited for what things lie away. You were able to pull off. I just want to ask you while I have you on, how in the world were you able to pull this off? Getting not only one on Monday, but getting another interview with another bare knuckle fighting. I mean, you must have. Are you a bare knuckle fighter yourself? I mean,
Nah,
you must have
nah,
some sort of
nah.
connections.
Um, so pretty much like this, like I pretty much support all the fighters out there on what is it, the Fighting Now on Instagram, MMA Now, whatever you want to call it. So I always make sure I have some fighters I want to be able to interview, and there's a lot more I have in store for you guys after our special guest today. So when I talked to Taylor, I was managed to be able to get her on here, and when I got a chance to have Brittany or Britton, whatever you want to call her, I managed to be able to ask her, I'm like, like, hey, do you want to be able to get a chance to join us? And she said she would love to because, um, you know, Britt, she has been on a roll as of late. 2021 has been an incredible year from fighting Paige Vanzant to facing Jenny Savage and to go on to take on Pearl Gonzalez. So I was able to be able to manage to get a chance to have Britt to come join us. And I think we have a lot more in store for us after today.
Yeah, no,
And
I mean, I just want to just quickly say I got armchair booking down here in the comments. Good morning, you guys, and thank you guys for shouting us out. And thanks to them that kind of helped me. Hey, kind of push to get other um, opportunities to get ourselves out there audio wise. Because I don't think if it wasn't for them, I would never put myself out there on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. And it's not a easy process in my stream. So we
yeah,
thanks to them. Like I said, I just bought um uh, their their armchair booking t-shirt. Very cool. I can't wait for that to come in, and then I'll be able to show it off. And great guys, we got to get them on a show, work on that. All right, so
I'm
let's do this here. What's up?
I was gonna say since since we have Archer booking and we want them to have on their show, how about we have one of us get a chance to join their show as well because we
They've
definitely
been
want to be
talking
able to.
about that. We kind of been talking about that back and forth. We just got to schedule the right time and date for that. So listen, we want to say good morning. It is a struggle for this gentleman to be here early in the morning. We ask him to pull an arm and a leg for us each and every morning. We ask him to do this. Although we don't ever ask him to do this. I think it's only twice, and he chooses to be here. and we give him a lot of crap for it. But listen, we want to welcome in at this time. Good morning to bright and early sunshine to Trey. Trey, hey buddy, are you
What's
awake
up?
there?
I'm
How are you doing? How are you feeling? It's a little bit later.
I'm pretty good. I'm late to the
Yeah.
show, like 5 minutes, but I got my sweet tea from McDonald's that's waking me up, so
Sweet
I'm good to
tea.
go.
Wow, I figured you'd be having your Starbucks.
Hey.
I can't because I haven't taken my medicine, so
Oh, yeah, my
I'm good
bad,
to
my bad.
go.
Well,
Okay,
hey,
well that's good because we have
that's
a
awesome.
impactful 2 hour show, and you didn't really miss nothing because the fucking we botched the intro, which I completely hate because I don't
Macho
want to show
Ronaldo.
disrespect to John Madden. But all right, listen,
Mm.
what we're gonna do here, we're gonna step aside. Because we got to kind of regroup, get our heads on right. You know, I kind of felt like it was a terrible ending. When we come back, we'll talk about Britain. Is it? Am I saying that? Is it Britain?
It's Britton Hart.
Britton
Britton
Hart.
Hart
She's
Beltran.
known as Britton Hart. Although she is married to Joey Hart, a MMA fighter, UFC fighter,
Joey Beltran, but yeah, he is a bare
or
knuckle
Joey
fighter
Beltran.
as
Sorry.
well. I think he is a former champion as well. I mean, he just lost his title in his last fight.
Alrighty, you guys. Well, we're gonna step away from you guys. When we come back, we'll get you into that plus that interview. Don't go nowhere. We got a busy 2 hour show with you guys coming up here on the J&J Talk Show. There we go. Is that better for you guys? There we go.
Hmm.
Okay.
gotta get it right now. Yeah, push your limits with you right now. Right now, right now. Get it right now, right now.
All right.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back inside the StreamYard studio. StreamYard is the home of the J&J Talk Show. If you're looking to create your own studio or podcast or YouTube video, head on over to StreamYard.com. Start making your dreams a reality. Man. Hey, Trey. So we have much bigger platforms to put our product out there. We just put ourselves on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts. Come on, what are you thinking, man? How you feeling?
That is really super cool. I can't wait to promote that and everything else. That's gonna be really cool.
It's
What
gonna be an
about
awesome one.
what about the whole new schedule that we're gonna have coming starting Sunday? Where King Titan, you're excited for King Titan, huh?
I'm very cool. I'm very ready. I
Gonna
got a
be
special
I was listening.
message too.
Oh my
Can't
God.
wait.
So I was listening to the Armchair Booking, which is a new favorite podcast available on any audio platforms. Okay, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. But they're talking about they've never had King Titan on their show. And they're like, oh no, we got to step up our game. But I love their work too. Support their channel if you guys want to check them out. But with that being said, back on Monday, Jake was able to magically pull a killer bee out of his hat.
Mhm.
A early Christmas present to us, and had the killer bee Taylor Starling on our show. And that's going to be the same thing for today. The last episode of the J&J Talk Show, we're going to have ourselves another bare knuckle fighter guest in Britain Hart,
Beltran.
right? Yeah. Well,
It is
does she
a.
want to be going by Britton Hart or Britton Hart Beltran?
I
more
I think she's been used to the Bretton Hart, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she don't mind calling her whatever you want to call her yet.
Okay.
I'm excited for this because she is pretty much one of the top fighters in bare knuckle fighting right now. She's had an incredible year, and yeah, we'll get to that later on. But I'm excited to get a chance to have her to join our show.
All right. Well, why are we waiting? Let's go, Jake.
All right, let's go ahead and is she ready? Oh, all right, let's
Ready.
go ahead and do it. All right, let's go ahead and have a bare knuckle fighter in the women's division. Let's go ahead and have Britton Hart Beltran.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Hoping you can hear me good, right?
Good
We're
morning.
gonna hear you loud and
Good
Happy
clear.
morning.
holidays.
We're
Yeah,
gonna hear you
happy
loud and
holidays to you.
clear. So how's your holidays? Y'all had a great one?
Yeah, man, the holidays were perfect. I got my kids and we got to take them down to Miami and we went to the zoo. My son, he kind of got the short end of the stick where his birthday is right around Christmas time. So we did for his birthday, we went deep sea fishing and caught a shark and a sailfish. So, I mean, it was
Jeez.
just it was an epic holiday.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited because all three of us here have some awesome questions for you and get a chance to talk to you about some rumors that I've been hearing around barrel fighting with your next fight. So let's go ahead and start off with the questions. So what was it like what was it like preparing for your first ever fight on a physical and a mental aspect?
So my first ever fight, I was definitely really ready for it. I had been training and I was nervous being my first fight. I wanted to make sure that everything was like, that I did what I was supposed to do. But I was more excited and like happy than I was like fearful. So it was a super good experience. Honestly, I tell everybody my first pro fight is literally like in my head, it's like a Cinderella moment. It's like I'm going to try this thing. And then when you get there, it's like, wow, the glass slipper just fit so perfect. It was like, dancing in the ring with like, your one true love. Like it just felt so awesome to go out there and have all those lights on you and it feels so right. So my first fight was definitely that way. So it was super cool.
Um, what can you walk us through a fight day and what do you do mentally, physically, emotionally to get ready for a fight?
Yeah, so I've gone through the process of that too, because I'm usually, and this is like taking your advice and knowing that you got to do what's right for you. Because I would get up and want to run, and I'm a very talkative, outgoing person. My whole life has been just so busy and like full to the brim that on fight day, when people are like, no, you just need to relax, you need to stay in bed, that actually damages me because it brings me down. Like I'm like, I feel like a lump on the log, and you kind of get in that rut. So like the best thing I can do on fight day is like I said, I take it very serious, and sometimes people don't see the behind the scenes, like in the training when I'm running and going through like that mental like and the grit and the grind, and that no one's gonna take this from me type of attitude. But on fight night, I'm all about trying to be happy and more so make it about the people that believe in me, like whether it be my husband. I had an amazing team with Karma Coin, and so I spent a lot of my time with them, with my fans, with my sponsors, with my coaches, and we do really fun things. We go out to eat, we laugh, we watch videos. I mean, we have a really good time. We go on a walk, we do like a little shakeout. It's just that's really what I think it's about on fight day for me is being positive. Because if I start getting like, oh man, this bitch said this, and oh, I'm gonna show her. It kind of gets like it can drain on your energy, sure. And on that day, like the days before, is good for that energy, but on fight night, it's best to go in there with a clean slate and be happy and open minded, and I've always been super successful with that approach.
Yeah. All right, Trey. Trey, you got a question?
I do. What are your goals for bare knuckle fighting?
Say it again.
What are your goals for bare knuckle fighting?
Oh yeah, what are my goals? Honestly, the strap, the belt, the title, what everybody wants. I definitely want that. So I feel like I could make other goals there, but I definitely don't. I want to start small and accomplish that goal because sometimes when we make too many goals, we lose sight of the one goal that really matters. So I really just want to get the belt. I think that's the most important. I can think of a few other things. I definitely really want to be in the Hall of Fame. That's really important to me. I've said it years and years ago when I started professional gloved boxing. I said that I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame one day as a female. And
Yeah.
everyone kind of laughed at me. Like they're like, "Yeah, right. You started too late. You started when you're 25. All these girls in the Hall of Fame been boxing their whole life and come from boxing families, and that's not me." And I said, I don't care. I'm gonna find a way to do it. So I think maybe bare knuckle kind of led me to that way because I think it's super obtainable to be in the Hall of Fame for bare knuckle. And I definitely think I'm the woman to do it. I really do.
Yeah.
Some of the
Well,
greatest don't happen right away, by the way. Some of the greatest don't have that background. It doesn't come in at a young age. They don't grow up around it. They don't get into it until later.
Yeah. And those people have done really, I think it kind of makes you want it more. Like, you hear about all the time, like athlete burnouts and, some of these kids, mom, dad, you might be scarring your children sitting there saying, you got to go practice, go do it again. It's got to be perfect. And then once you do that for years and years, it takes the passion and the fun out of it. And you're more like just a robot, you're not really, you got to have it in here. And especially in fighting. But I think sports is, you know, you can have all the skills and train for years and years, but if you don't have it in here, you just don't have it, and you can be beat. So I think of it that way too. Yeah, it's a very good point. Like some amazing people came from that kind of background too. So super inspirational.
So what inspires you to join bare knuckle?
Yeah, I actually didn't want to do bare knuckle. They called me and I was like, now I want to focus on boxing. And then after my boxing match, they reached back out to me and I was like, I don't know. And then they really made me believe. They're like, hey, you said that you wanted to make a difference in female combat sports. This is your chance. We believe you can do it. And whether they meant it or not, it still made me believe it. So, and I'm not gonna lie too, the money had something to do with it. Um, so I thought about, I was like, man, this is way more money than I make in boxing, and I could use it because I was always, I was a single mom at the time, and I was struggling with that, and I was working like 2 or 3 jobs at a time, and training was just, I always thought in my head that if I could train like these other girls and make training my full time, I would be unstoppable, untouchable. I could really do this. And so with bare knuckle, it kind of made that option, made that dream a reality. So I was gonna take the money and go to California, which is where I've always wanted to go, and train out there. So that was an awesome step to it. And then again, like I with boxing with Cinderella, I thought bare knuckle was just like a stepping stone, but really, freak, who would have known? Bare knuckle was the home and place for me.
Right. There's a lot of the women's division, and then just woman, the women's competition, and everything, especially in fighting, has grown over the last, several decades tremendously. Um, as you being part of one of that revolution statements, what inspiration or messages that you have to say to younger kids who are looking to grow up and do something like you're doing?
Yeah, stick the course, and you are the only one who sees the bigger picture. Like I can't preach that enough. Like, you know, whether I've been there. Like my parents, my family, my blood relatives, my closest friends were all like, "You're stupid. Why would you do this? Why would you throw away a college degree to go get hit in the head? You're never gonna be great." And they didn't see what I saw. So that goes to all the young people out there. Like this world is crazy and changing, and we don't always see what you see, and you're the only one that can make that read. And if it feels right in your heart, you have to follow it no matter what. Like it's a commitment thing. If you see it, like at the end of the day, you got to stand for something. And if you don't stand for yourself and what you believe in, what difference can you make in the world, period, at all? So I really think that wholeheartedly, whether it's something as crazy as bare knuckle or hiking Mount Everest or skydiving or swimming with sharks to taking the jump and being, promoted, but having to move out of state or across the country to start your business. There's all these fears and these obstacles that we're gonna have to go through that take real guts. And if you believe in it, you have to do it.
Trey?
How would you compare bare knuckle fighting among the other fight clubs?
I think that it's starting to kind of mold its way into the other fight clubs. I think at first it started with a really awesome ambition, like we're gonna really make this own league of like the baddest, best fighters ever that are like true grit and glory. And I thought that they really had that going for them, and they still do a little bit. It's kind of getting watered out, in my opinion, but um, I think it's kind of, like it's following what the UFC did. You got to start off small and then you grow into this like monopoly and kind of take over. And I do think it is. I still stand, hats off to them. It is the fastest growing combat sport. I mean, you got to think it was illegal for over 100 years. It just got legalized in 2018. Here we are about to go into 2022. And I mean, they're new and more fighters coming on, more shows. They're top dollar shows. I mean, I will say that how it compare. I mean, gosh, if you go to a UFC fight, going to a BKFC fight is just as magical and crazy. Like the lights and the music and the energy. Um, it's very one of a kind, and you don't really get that in the smaller club shows or regional shows like you do the big stages, like going to a UFC. Now I feel like BKFC is right up there.
Yeah. I want to bring up Knuckle Mania. You fought Paige Vanzant in the main event. Take us through that night. Take us through the whole thing with Paige Vanzant, because I know this was a huge night for you, and you definitely started 2021 off with a huge impact. So take us through the fight against Paige Vanzant.
Yeah, so I do, and more than I think about it, she's not my toughest opponent, but by far the best fight. Probably, it's gonna be super hard to top a fight like that because of everything, like the build up. I fought Randine, so that was the initial. It was totally organic, with a little statement and kind of jest, and I thought I had the fight. So in my head, I'm like, this is my moment to show the world who I am, to change my life. And then they were like, oh, we're not going to use you. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I went on and made that video. I think they got I don't want to say it went viral, but it got a lot of hits and it changed a lot of people's opinions. And it basically said, like, look, Paige, I called you out and you came in the ring with me and took my time away there to set up this fight. It has to happen. So then continuing from that little stress crazy part of it. Then it went to the camera crews. They made this 3-episode thing that you guys can watch on YouTube, The Road to Hart versus Van Sant. And it was a 3-episode thing. It was very detailed and very well done. Like, how cool is that? Like, forget the fight, it's just to be one of those where the camera guys follow you around like a reality TV show. Like, you're talking about my work, my kids, my home life, my training in the gym. And I have that put into like this thing that people can follow along and know more about me. That was like super high. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And then Bill, shout out to Billboard mats. They have these awesome mats they put in the ring, but my face is all over them. Like, so it's me and Paige's face on everything because we were the main event. So, and it was a really nice poster, I think, too. So, sometimes we can be critical of ourselves, but I thought, I was like, dude, I look awesome. I feel awesome. I look awesome. I'm in California now. Like I said, piggybacking on how you can see the story unravel is like where I knew my heart, where I've always wanted to be. I went out to California with Coach Haas at Knucklehead's gym. And man, so everything out there was great. And then I got a little ahead of myself, and me and my friend, actually, a lot of people don't know this. Me and my friends went out, and someone told me, I need to step up my game on my Instagram pictures and do what all these other girls are doing. And then my pictures are too like, training and, too like I need to spice it up and make it more sexy. And I was like, oh man, but whatever, I'll try. So I found this big rock in the ocean. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lay on top of the rock and pretend I'm a mermaid, and that's gonna be sexy picture and cool. And so, anyways, long story short, I got up on the rock, a wave come, and it flipped me off the rock. We got the picture, which is really what matters. We got the picture, but it swept me off the rock, and I'm telling you, oh man, my knee was messed up. I had scrapes here, my foot. It looked like a shark attacked me. Like I was ripped up
But no
from
one
that
would
because
know
it
because
took
you got
me
the
over.
picture.
Yeah, right. I did. I had the picture. So, and I got after a picture of me and oh man, it was so much blood. It was wild. And so the next day when I went to the gym, I'm like, my coach is like, what did you do? Because I'm limping. And I'm like, oh, I fucked up everything. Everything. I worked so hard in getting this moment. I messed it up by going on that dumb rock to get a stupid picture. Why? And I actually changed. I started training. This is how bad it was. People don't realize. It's honestly the only miracle I've ever believed in my life.
Yeah.
But I switched. It was so painful. I switched into a southpaw stance, and I was like, "There's no way I can fight this girl orthodox. I can't put any pressure on my left knee." So I switched. I started training southpaw, and then I went to therapy. I iced it. I did everything. I wore it in a brace, and then literally 4 days before the fight, I woke up and I was like, it was literally like, I don't know, it sounds so crazy. I could show you the pictures and everything because it
Yeah.
sounds so unbelievable. But it was absolutely like, not even like, oh, 20% better. It was like it never happened. I was like walking around on it, jumping on it. I was like, no way. It was overnight. I couldn't believe it. So I was like, dude, I am going to do this. I promise. Like, thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be like, I had this like speech before the epic speech of I'm a feeling, but I was like, I'm going to do it for everybody. Like, I'm not just a person and I'm not doing this for me. Like, I'm doing it to be this feeling for other people who start late, who get told no, who get told they're crazy, who get told all this other stuff, that their pictures aren't sexy enough, whatever it might be, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it for those people. And I said thank you, and I went in there, and then I fought. And so walking through that awesome experience, man, my team, my coach Marcus Luck came out to see me, and I had the literally I couldn't ask for any better. They were by my side and so loyal and committed. And then when I had the fight, I knew in my head that again I always get short end of the stick too, and that if I didn't knock her out, I wasn't gonna win. So I thought I did really good in the fight, and it was really fun, and it was really cool. And I thought we did it. We put on a really good main event fight, but at the end, I was like, man, I didn't knock her out, so I didn't win. And when my
No.
coach came over, he's like, oh no, you won, but this is how it goes, Britain. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, but you have nothing to be ashamed of because you did a fucking hell of a job. And I was like, yeah. And we went over there, and then so when you see them announce my name, you can see like legitly. I'm like, what? Like, no way. Which I really do. I'm not just saying it because I'm pretty upfront and real honest person.
Mhm.
I watched back that fight, and I really think I won every single round. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are some toss-up rounds, but if I had to choose, like, there had to be a winner at the end of the day at each individual round. I still feel like I won based on going forward, throwing, defense, like everything put together. Time I controlled the circle, but whatever. Anyways, I won, and then we went into that whole I'm a feeling and all that great stuff. And it was a lot of emotions, a lot going into that. So to do it, it was amazing. And then afterwards, my teeth were knocked out. And this one, like, I could pull it out right now. It's not that, it's just like a
Oh.
flipper right now.
Oh
It
wow.
was the worst pain ever. So now I'm like the endorphins of winning. And then it's like, oh my God, I remember taking pictures with the fans and be like, yeah, we did it. Take a picture. And then, oh, God. And then another fan would come over and they'd be like, Britton. I'd be like, oh yeah, take a picture. And then I'd be like, oh. And I went to the press conference, and I remember I was so sad because I was in extreme pain, like the worst pain. And I'm sitting at this press conference like this, and it was actually Dad's wife who
Yeah.
looked at me, and she's like, smile, you need to smile. And I was like, oh yeah. And so I smiled, and I forced myself through that press conference. And then thank God I went to the doctor and got some pain medicine. I cried like a baby after that fight, though. I'm not. People are always like, when I first started fighting, they're like, "You're not a crier, are you?" I'm like, "Hell no! I will never cry on camera. You'll never see me cry on camera." But behind the scenes,
It's a
I was
different story.
bawling,
I don't
bawling
believe
inside.
there's nothing wrong with crying. I feel like that brings much
No,
more emotional and passion about what you're doing and really sells into everything. I got to ask you. We talked about preparation to a fight. Do you
Oh,
have a go-to music? Do you have a theme song? Is there something that you go to right before you go out that you have to listen to?
I do, and it changes every fight. I always like. It's kind of like probably my first struggle that I have when I find out I get a fight. It depends on the opponent. It depends on the location. It depends on the scope of what's happening. Like, is it a rivalry or is it, So after I get all those details, the song that I choose, like if you go back and listen to my walkout song, like they're usually very, very, very specific to that point in time. And even as so much to say as the opponent, what people are saying about me, whatever it is. And so I find that song, like I make it this hunt. Like while I'm running, I listen to all these songs. I'm like, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. And then finally I find that one song and I will. I'm kind of weird like that, but I'll actually listen to it on repeat and replay. And I'll listen to the same song over and over and over. And so when it comes out to my walkout, when I'm listening to right before I walk out or before I fight, I listen to that song. Oh, and I don't listen to any other song. It's not like a playlist. I listen to one song and then one song over and over. And then by the time I walk out, it's like almost kind of like setting me like this is what reminding me what all the training has been like. This is those feelings when I was going up a mountain, when I was pushing extra hard, when I was, whatever it might be, I'm sitting in the sauna dying. Like these are the feelings and emotions, and it's specific to each fight because I'm a really big believer. And again, why I feel like I'm going to be a Hall of Fame and why I feel like I'm going to be the best fighter is because some of my methods are so different and really mean something to where I can stand apart from all these other girls and guys that are great. And it's that I'm
Yeah.
changing and evolving. Like, you've never seen me the same fighter, and you never will. And I hope, like, I'm really priding myself on that. Like, once you see me, like, oh, wow, she looked like that last fight, I'm going to have to really rethink things because I want to be constantly growing and evolving. And it comes with the song because some of those songs are like I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm angry. I'm upset with life or the world. And some of them are like, man, I'm living my best life. This is everything I worked for. It depends on that mood and on that training and what's going on in my life. And it really reflects into making me that fighter at that point in time. And I don't need to be the same fighter every fight I go into, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Trey, you have a question,
So,
buddy?
yeah, I do. So, how long does it take for you to typically recover from a fight?
Oh man, it just depends. Like sometimes I be fine the next day. Like those are the greatest. Like when I wake up the next day and I'm like, wow, I'm not even sore. I don't got any marks. I've had a few of those now, so I'm really happy to say that. That's the goal every time. But if it gets, I would say this: if it gets, I've not had anything be like too bad. Like the worst thing I've had is I've broken my finger, and I broke my teeth before, and that's not even really that bad. But 6 weeks, 6 weeks. I feel like you should listen to your body. I feel like that I'm not one of these people again in training camp. I'm not one of those that's like, you know, break so what, your leg's broken. You got to run through the pain. If my leg is hurting, I'm going to swim or I'm going to find something else. If my shoulders are hurt, I'm going to give them a break and just start working on leg presses, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
what comes to recovery too, if I feel great the next day, hey, why stop? If I feel good in a week, but in 6 weeks, I feel like is the max. But I mean, I've never really gone 6 weeks not doing anything, whether it be like swimming or yoga or running on an elliptical. Like, there's so many low impact things out there that we can do while we're injured. So it's never something you have to sit still completely on.
Yeah. So, for many people who don't know, Bare Knuckle recently announced their awards, and you won Fighter of the Year. Take us through this year you had. I mean, you went from facing Paige Vanzant to Jenny Savage to Pearl Gonzalez. I mean, did you ever expect this award that you definitely deserved?
No, I didn't really think they did. I don't remember there ever being a fighter of the year. So again, it's super cool for the progress towards BKFC. So I'm in a big, round of applause for that because at the end of the day, if they don't have fighters and you don't appreciate them, what do you really have? And I think the biggest and best thing that BKFC has for them is that they have these fighters that you can identify with and are kind of like, I don't want to say like character, but they are. They're like characters, They have their little quirks and cool things and whatever. But yeah. So the fighter of the year is like I never expected that. I didn't even know it was a thing. Um,
Hmm.
and then when I saw people voting for, who the other girls were, I was just like, you know what? It's funny because I usually am a really big advocate of myself, and I share, and I'm like, please vote, and I harass people, hey, vote for me. But this time I didn't. I don't even have like a YouTube channel. Maybe I should like evolve into that, but I don't. So, yeah, I was just like, well, we'll see what happens. And the biggest thing for me is not even just winning that, but just knowing that how many people went out there and voted for me. Like, wow, like I'm still that feeling to a lot of people, and sometimes I don't realize it. So the fighter of the year was my wake up call. That sometimes it's easy to think the world's against you, or
Yeah.
I'm never good enough. I don't have the title. I like you said, I fought Paige. I should, I fought Jenny. I fought
Hmm.
Pearl. I fought,
Yeah.
and what else? What else do I have to do to be good enough, or to be promoted, or to be on the flyer, to be the, the it looks like everyone's fighting to be the face of BKFC. Like, what else do I have to do that? And I feel like sometimes I get my feelings hurt, and the fact that I'm not good enough and people don't like me.
I would
People
just say that
say,
it's not like you're not good enough. You're great enough. They're just too scared of you. They're scared that if they give you that opportunity, you're gonna take it, and then no one else is gonna beat you over it.
right, exactly. And I think I agree with you because right now, I mean, and you're probably going to go into it with the rumors of BKFC. Like, me and Christine are really the only two girls I feel like even we're, I mean, when I have 6 fights, she has 5, something like that. And, we keep going back on the 1 and 2. But, again, it's like, I'm not trying to like make myself look better. It's just black and white facts. Like, who she's fought and who everybody else has fought in that division is completely like lands away, oceans away from who I have beat. Like you're talking about Beck Rawlings, Christine. Yeah, and people could say, "Oh, Christine beat you in 2019," but it's like who's Christine fought? Christine has fought all debuters or people on losing streaks, and I'm fighting Paige, Pearl, people who have just won a fight in bare knuckle, who have
Hmm.
extensive experience, and so now it's kind of getting to the point I'm trying to find a fight. Like I really want to fight Taylor, and I really want that fight to happen. And it's like, well, those fights are only going to happen if you get paid, if they get paid X amount of dollars because you're too good now. Like no one's going to fight you for like they're going to hassle us and make it a you know a whole deal now. Where before people would love to fight Britain, they'd be like, oh, Britain Hart, that girl, she's so beatable. And now I mean, it's kind of like makes people think like, she's coming off a 5 win streak now. I won a huge. People forget and don't know, but I won a huge boxing match right before I got signed to BKFC. So I knocked
Yeah.
out a girl who was 5-0 in the first round. We had a 6 round fight, and I knocked her out. Like BKFC's been waiting for this knockout power and knockout punch because it hasn't happened yet. They're all been like TKOs or stoppages and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, in my head, I'm like, I just did that in boxing against some girl. I have the power to do it. I just have to do
Yeah.
it. So I've been working on it. But anyways, I'm sure people are kind of, like you said, yes, scared to fight me, which is a flattering feeling, but it can also be like, I just want a belt. Like, just give me a belt, guys.
If you guys do not got a chance to follow our social media, here it is on your screen. Make sure you guys check her out on Twitter, Instagram. The fighter of the year, bare knuckle fighter, Brenton Hart Beltran. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see what 2022 has in store for you. Good luck to you. Good luck to your husband as well. I know he's got some things coming up in 2022 as well, and can't wait to see how it goes for you.
Oh, absolutely. Stay tuned because we're actually we're in Puerto Rico right now helping our friends for their BKFC fight. So, I mean, we're staying so busy and sometimes it seems too fun, but it's one of those things. If you love it, you got to eat it, breathe it, live it, sleep it. And we're here. And so we're not here without a reason. It's going to have a big payoff here, like I said, when it's coming. So 2022 is going to be great. Thank you for you guys. I really do love hearing from you and seeing your stuff. It means a lot. So I hope everybody has a happy new year. My 2021 was great. I hope you guys' 2022 is even better.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. Make sure you guys check out Hart Beltran. Fighter of the Year 2022 will be the year of the Hart Beltran.
Yeah, I like that. Perfect.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Later. That was awesome. That was
She
All right.
was
really
awesome.
That was amazing. That was amazing. You guys can
It
check her
was.
out on Twitter at Team Beltran Hart or at Team Britain Hart. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. And then you can also check it out on Instagram at Team Britain Beltran. All right, we got to step away. When we come back, we got a fun game for you guys to try out and play right here on the J&J Talk Show.
Silence.
Trying to make up your mind like you need more time. You've already spent most of mine. Even when your words fail, you try to keep it light. You realize I'm done right. You can be honest. I don't appreciate your lies. It's about damn time you get it right. I'm up all night. You keep pretending.
Oh my goodness. The song is called Out of Here by Humble Hay and Jennifer Holmes. Available on Epidemic Sound. Gosh, great song. I like it.
Great song. Hey,
Oh
great
my
interview.
goodness, great voice. Great interview. Great. Trey, hey, you.
But I loved it.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Trey. Thank you,
Hey,
Trey.
it's all about the team.
all about the T says.
The T did the
Man.
magical trick. Well, the T's gonna have to do some magical tricks here because I tell you, back on Sunday with this, like I said, I will take complete blame for the event to the game that was a failure on Sunday. Okay, that's my fault. I didn't go into you guys and ask you guys, hey, so and so and blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tell you guys the definition of what was going on. We put that on the back road. We're not going to try that out.
Yeah, I would say it was like the songs. I can do with the songs. It's just like, but what if you had like songs from like 1940s, 1950s? I don't think the three of us or even Courtney was even born around that time. So let alone you're like, what's the 1960s? I'm like, we're nowhere near the 60s. We're more like the 80s and 90s, 70s. But before we continue on, I do want to say thank you so much to Britton, Hart, Beltran, and Taylor Starr for being our guests this week. Our final 2 episodes of 2021. Thank you so much for being so awesome. Thank you both.
Alrighty. All right. I thought I had this question put down. I didn't in my little stream. Anyways, all right. So I'm going to put that on the back burner. We're going to put that game on a back burner. We're going to break that down, see what we could do with that at a later date. The whole idea is, and I've explained this before, but to the audience, is that because starting next Wednesday, we're going to go 5 days a week. We're going to have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 10 a.m. to noon, and then we're going to go Saturday and Sunday from 10 p.m. to midnight, which means we're going to have to kind of create some things. I want to create more of a more like a talk show base, right? More of a fun, not all the way serious sports, whatever, kind of have some segments in there that kind of occupy the time to kind of help the show move along. Because come Friday next week, if we just talk all about sports, we'll be washed up with sports. Okay? So this game here is very simple. I'm going to give you guys the topic of the game is an NFL category, but the goal of the game is I'm going to give you guys a question. Okay, it's going to be the top 8, top 10, name the top 5, whatever, and you guys will just have to throw out names or teams or whatever and I'll tell you if it's correct or not. We'll start off with Trey. He'll answer. If he gets it correct, he'll get a point. For every correct team or name you get a point, and then it'll alternate. So we'll go to Trey, we'll go to Jake, we'll go back to Trey, and the first person with 3 correct points wins the game for the day. Question so far? Kind of explained to you guys this more pre-show, but we're gonna give this a try. So. And it's the same question for you guys. There's the question is one question, and the question is that over the last. As a matter of fact, the Cincinnati Bengals, that's the category today. The Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are 5-14 in the playoffs. They're 0-2 at the Super Bowl. All right. They've beaten the Buffalo Bills, the San Diego Chargers, the Seattle Seahawks, the Buffalo Bills twice, and the Houston Oilers. But they lost 14 games in the playoffs. Last win was back in 1990. Okay. With that being said, there's a total of 9 teams. There's a total of 9 teams that the Cincinnati Bengals have lost to the playoffs. So my question is to you. Can you guys name the teams that the Cincinnati Bengals have lost to in the playoffs?
The Ravens.
So Trey, the Ravens is your first answer, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that is correct. The Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Ravens back in 1970 on December 26th, a final score of 17-0. So you have 1 point. Jake, your pick. Pittsburgh. That is also correct. The Pittsburgh Steelers have beaten the Bengals twice in the playoffs. One on January 9, 2015, final score 18-16, and also January 8th, 2005, 31-17. Back to you, Trey. It's 1-1 apiece.
I'm gonna throw out the Colts.
The Colts, that is also correct. The Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Indianapolis Colts. I just want to give you some information on that. That was back in 2014, January 4th. There was a loss 26-10. It's 2-1. Trey, Jake, your turn.
New England.
That is incorrect.
I figured.
The Cincinnati Bengals have never faced the Patriots in the playoffs. For the win,
I
it's
can't-
2-1. If you get this next one right, you will win the game.
I cannot say the Browns because I don't ever recall them going to the playoffs. I'm gonna throw out. Has to be an AFC, right?
Yes.
Oh shoot!
Hey, Jake, don't help him out with this.
I don't even know. I don't even know at this point.
Just throw an NFL team out there, and I'll tell you if the Bengals are lost to them in the postseason.
The Patriots.
The Patriots. Didn't he already say the Patriots?
Yep.
God.
All right.
All right, so that's no point for you. Jake, is back to you. It's 2-1 Trey.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is incorrect. The Bengals have never faced the Chiefs
What?
in the playoffs.
Wow. All right. Trey.
NFL team.
Tennessee.
NFL team. Huh?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, that is incorrect.
Okay. The New York Jets.
The New York Jets is correct. The New York Jets beat the Cincinnati Bengals twice in the playoffs. One back in 1982 for the final score 44-17, and the second one back in 2009, 24-14. So it's tied at 2. Basically the next point wins. Here, Trey, can you name a team that has beaten the Bengals in the playoffs?
AFC. Oh shoot. Who's a big team? Can't be Green Bay. That's NFC.
Oh
I don't
my
know
goodness. Oh
Ah,
my goodness. I am
shoot.
going to kill you guys if you can't. Just Trey, you don't know your Cincinnati Bengals. There's one name. There's one team that I'm surprised you haven't mentioned yet. Like pops in my mind. I think you talked about this all the time. I mentioned this up on our show before.
I'm gonna have to pass.
All right. For the win.
All right. I've been thinking about this team and this division. Would Miami be one of them?
The Dolphins is correct. Ding, ding, ding. You have won, Jake. Back in 1973, the Dolphins beating the Bengals 34-16. You guys want to hear the full list of who the Cincinnati Bengals lost real quick?
Yes.
So
Sure.
I'm not gonna break down all the scores, but so the teams who have lost to the Bengals, who the Bengals lost to once in the postseason is the Ravens, Dolphins, Chargers, and Colts. The teams who have lost twice to the who the Bengals have lost twice to is the Raiders, Jets, Steelers, and Texans. And you guys are forgetting this most important team. You talk about an NFC team who has beaten them in the Super Bowl twice.
Are you serious? The 49ers?
The 49ers.
The same team that will do this year, Troy.
Oh my goodness. Hey, this wasn't I want to say I like this game a lot better. I feel like it's a lot more opportunity for everyone. They're not going to be challenging questions. I'm going to try to keep them as relevant as to what we are talking about first and foremost. Okay. Obviously, this category is a testing category in hopes that the Bengals are having a good chance of making a postseason this year and hoping to win their first game in the postseason since 1990.
Quick question. So, can the next time we do this, can it be all about Steelers?
Well, okay. The thing is, I'm not just going to tell you about this. I'm just going to show it up on our show. So it may be this weekend, it may be next weekend, but we'll play Saturday and Sunday. I got to mix it up. There's going to be wrestling questions, this and that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see where your guys' heads are at when it comes down to all of this. But I thought that was actually a lot better game than that musical trivia game.
Then Sunday, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
And I think it doesn't take up a lot of time, and I think you guys could play it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Are
You guys down for that?
Yeah.
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 All I say is, when it comes to the wrestling questions, I'm just like Courtney. Trey's going down on the wrestling questions.
Oh my goodness. Let's go.
I do know my wrestlers.
So do I.
Really?
So,
As
yeah.
long as it's WWE,
see-
I know nothing about it.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna go wrestling wise, but I'm even at WWE. You only go back so far, so we're gonna have to see.
Yeah, test me.
I'll have a wrestling question for you
We'll-
guys.
we'll
coming
see
up,
we'll see
on Sunday.
We'll see who wins the wrestling one, because Trey, you already know it's gonna be me with my knowledge.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, listen, let's take another break. When we come back, I want to ask your guys' thoughts on the NCAA playoffs semifinals coming up here tomorrow night. We got some NFL going on, followed by our picks. Stay tuned right here on the J&J Talk Show.
One step forward, two steps backwards, yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Listen. All right, you guys. I want to give just a condolences, and hopefully she goes on to bigger, better things, because she's a great athlete. And she has the heart and pack like anyone else. But we want to wish the best of luck to Toni Storm, who was released by the WWE earlier this week.
Crazy news.
Wow.
Crazy stuff.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, I know that there was hints about There was hints about it back on last Friday that this was her final match, and because she lost, like they were
I
giving
thought
her
we
the
were
title
not
shot.
talking about
Like,
wrestling.
no, I know, but you talked to me about it during break, and I like at least want to give a shout out to her. I mean, that's I'm gonna forget about it by Sunday, to be honest.
I mean, there was big, not big news, but I wanted to throw this out, but I'll wait
Oh, there
till
you go. There's
Sunday
no
if
big
I
news.
have
So,
to. But
well, what do you got? What do you got, real quick?
well, there's a certain wrestler claims he's done enough to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and that is Alberto Del Rio. He claims
Is
he's
he?
done enough to be in the Hall of Fame.
What?
We will talk about this on Sunday. That is a great
Yes.
conversation to have. I think he has, but not this year, not next year, not in 5 years, maybe in about 10 years from now. When the
Sure.
WWE is scraping the bottom of the barrel to find, let me put it this way: Heath Slater is going to be in the WWE before Alberto Del Rio.
He has
I
a
have
chance.
I have written this question down so we can talk more about it Sunday.
Yeah,
But I wanted
talk
to
about it on Sunday.
throw that out.
And I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, just listen. I mean, Thursdays are usually football days. Obviously, with we had an interview at the first half of the hour. First hour. That was kind of fighting. That was our fighting news. And now we have ourselves. We got to get into football. It takes us literally a half an hour to talk about and give our picks. Which, by the way, I'm behind because I haven't done any homework on it. I've been fucking shit face in the brain with this cold this past 2 days. I mean, every time I try to get on the computer, I'm just, 15 minutes and I'm done. I mean, the only thing I've accomplished was getting new merchandise up there, which Trey, you saw that last night. If you head on over to merch.streamelements.com/JJ Talk Show, you can wear our apparel. We have t-shirts, jackets, hoodies, coffee mugs, blankets, right? Phone cases. Listen, I don't decide the phone cases. That's through Stream Elements. You got to take that up with Stream Elements.
I want to throw one thing out. I know you've been sick, and I know you've been sick. Y'all can keep that over there.
Oh,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna throw a peeve here. I'm gonna blame Steve from Armchair Booking because he on Monday's episode of his podcast, he said he was sick like 2 weeks ago. I swear he probably brought it over here to our show when we friended him. I'm just giving him a hard
all
time,
I'm saying is,
but yeah,
I'm struggling. I mean,
I am.
what more can you
Listen,
ask for?
I'm barely gonna. I have to go to work today. I spent 2 days out of work trying to take care of myself. I've done nothing but hot tea and pho with a whole bunch of sriracha sauce. So I'm trying to clean out my system, and that's how when I get sick, it's not chicken noodle soup, it's pho. It's a Vietnamese soup with beef and noodles and rice noodles and all that fun stuff in there, and it's really good.
Never heard of it.
Well, fuck. Maybe I need to make some for you. Fuck.
Never heard of that either. So
Oh my goodness. That's our new episode. That's our new segment on Friday mornings. Try new things with Jake.
nah.
Anyways,
Apparently, Trey too.
apparently we trade too. But I just you guys don't have like an authentic restaurant out here that does pho accordingly. Yeah, we're all kind of dealing with a little sickness, and good thing that we're not actually in a studio where we're face to face with each other, or else we'll never get rid of it. We are, at the lovely places of our homes. Everyone's on a couch. I'm kind of in a studio base, but
I'm not even on the couch. What are you talking
Alright.
about? I'm on my gaming chair.
you're on your chair. I'm on my chair. I mean,
Yeah.
I got my Christmas present last week. I got the merchandise up. I got some posters up here. Hey, and I know this isn't in camera angle, but I still got the Kentucky Woodworks. Hopefully, we get another promotion for the regular year with coming up for him. Anyways,
Does it still
talking
smell?
about. Oh, well, hold on.
I don't know if you can be able to smell.
Ooh, that smells good.
It's still
I
it's still
love
there.
that.
I will
It's
tell
still
you.
there.
I will tell you that it is fragile because it is also wood. But yeah, really good.
Well,
Well, I appreciate
that's the
you
deal.
admitting it over there. Armchair Booking just said, "Yep, it was me." No, I'm not blaming you guys. It's just ironic. I was listening to you guys on Monday. You guys said, "Oh yeah, I had a cold for like the last couple of days," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm going through the same sickness." I'm just thank God
Well,
it's not COVID for me. I have a negative test to prove it, so I'm happy that that's
I'll
the
say
case.
it's my turn for that to happen today. So yippee!
Hey,
I'm looking
well, we
forward
wish you the
to it.
best of luck. Wish you the best of
Yep.
luck. All right, listen, we have it's been a month, and I'm gonna tell you, I haven't really followed much any, Pro Bowl, not Pro Bowl, but bowl games this
College,
season.
yeah.
College football. I mean, the Holiday Bowl was canceled after UCLA reported with some COVID incidents, but we have our NCAA semifinals coming up tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, 3:30 p.m. will be the number 4 Cincinnati taking on number 1 Alabama, and at 7:30, the number 3 Georgia takes on the number 2 Michigan, and the NCAA finals. And we'll talk about this more next week. Is takes place on a Monday, which I absolutely hate. Um, but we got these big games, and I think right now Cincinnati is my favorite team to win.
You're gonna go with the Cinderella story.
I'm going Cinderella story.
I'm about Cincinnati too.
See, but the thing is, Shrey, the only reason why you're rooting for Cincinnati
Because
is
I live there.
because you live near Cincinnati. I'm rooting
Yeah.
for Cincinnati because they have a lot to prove in these final 2 games if they can make it to the finals, because they're about to jump into another conference.
Yeah, I mean they
And
are.
they were underlooked so much this year. They were in the top 5, and then they got top 4, and then they got knocked down to the 6, and everyone thought that NCAA football was a piece of crap for doing that.
Yeah.
And for
Well,
an undefeated team, they finally get back into the top 4 and make a playoff run.
I mean the thing is though is that they're the only non top conference to be in the playoffs. I mean, I will give credit where credit's due. They're the only team out of the 4 that is currently undefeated. But the thing is, though, is that you got to look at who they faced in these pretty much the whole season for them to get to where they are. I mean, this is going to be a huge challenge for Cincinnati to take on, Nick Saban and those defending champions with the
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. I mean, Alabama's known for this. I mean, Saban's
Right.
getting them prepared. And then you look at the other game. Georgia and Michigan. Michigan, was it Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, one of the brothers, finally takes his team to the college playoffs, which is awesome and incredible. I'm looking forward
Mm-hmm.
to these 2 games, but I hate to be the Debbie Downer because you 2 have Cincinnati. To me, I hate to admit this, but I think Alabama's going to end up winning this game. And then the Georgia Michigan game, I want to see Michigan. I want to see
You know,
Michigan be able to make. Go
I
ahead. Go ahead.
love Michigan. I love John Harbaugh. I love everything that he does and how he went back down to college football coaching, and he's taken them to some great success. I'm not saying I don't like Alabama, but don't forget. I mean, I won't. I'll give credit where credit's due because a lot of great players in the NFL today come out of Alabama. I think it's a
Yeah.
really well programmed. But
Well, I mean,
when you look at Alabama's season, who have they really faced that was a really big challenge to them that would be like, oh yeah, they deserve this opportunity. When you look at Cincinnati, yeah, maybe they haven't faced a lot of great teams. Maybe most of their season was maybe minor teams. And I'm a San Diego State guy, and we still deal with the same situation. No top team wants to face a team like San Diego State in the Mountain West, although it will do us wonders to play with them. If Cincinnati and Alabama met in the regular season, how much a realistic look you finally give, Cincinnati, when during the season. Because the thing is that Alabama faces all these underrated, FCS teams that don't mean nothing. They do it for money because they get paid a shit ton of money to promote that team, that college that they're playing at. Cincinnati has to go around play crappy teams, and they have to work their way harder.
But the thing is, though, is that you're forgetting that they've also played in their conference too, in their SEC conference. I mean, they played challenging teams. I mean, look at who they faced. They faced Auburn. They faced Ole Miss, and then they go on to the
Auburn's
championship.
nothing this year. Ole Miss isn't nothing this year.
I mean, hey, Auburn did take them to overtime, did they not? They took them to overtime, and yet it was Bama that won it, and they also went to the SEC championship.
Right, and how often did I mean, how do you? If you really thought about that game, did Alabama really put their best foot forward?
I mean,
maybe
if they won
playing
like
third
21
string.
points,
Maybe they were playing the high school team that day. I don't know. I mean, I don't see that Bama has faced any really challenging teams this year or any other year. I mean, besides maybe their conference, but for Cincinnati. You talk about a Cinderella story. Let's talk about a Cinderella story. They have deserved an opportunity. They are undefeated. Aren't they not the only undefeated team in the semifinals? So they deserve it more than anyone else to at least have an opportunity. And I think you gotta put it's been a month also since you've last seen them, all four teams play. I am rooting for the underdogs. The underdogs are the Cincinnati Bearcats. Right.
This is my thought. I mean, just because they're undefeated does not mean that you can expect them to go out and win. I mean, they're going to play their best. They're going to fight tooth and nail, but I believe it's going to be Alabama. I hate to be one of those people that says, "Well, I don't believe in Cincinnati." I mean, Cincinnati can prove me wrong tomorrow. They have the potential to prove me wrong, but until then, I think it's going to be Alabama. Alabama's going to end up winning, and then in that second game, Georgia, Michigan, give me Michigan.
I think you are afraid to choose the under on this one and to choose Cincinnati because you know that a lot of people will give you shit saying, "I told you so." If Alabama
I'm not afraid.
does win.
I'm not afraid. So yet, if they win tomorrow on Sunday, I will admit that I was wrong on Sunday. But we'll see after tomorrow.
I mean, here's another thing too. I can't wait for the whole 16, 12 team playoff figuration that they're putting together to give more opportunities to other divisions as well.
That's right.
I'm just not a big fan of also seeing the same teams over and over and over and over again.
I do want to ask Trey something. Trey, I mean, we talked about Bama and Cincinnati, but yet, is there anyone that you're rooting for in the second game between Georgia and Michigan? I mean, who do you see moving on to the championship game?
Michigan.
Michigan. All right.
And one, because my family is from Michigan. So, in my family, there's two teams they root for, Michigan and Ohio State. So, I'm going to Michigan.
Michigan.
I used to love their helmets growing up. The one thing I will final say, and it's just a neutral aspect, listen, it's been pretty much a month since they last played a football game. There's no excuses why they can't play their absolute best, either any other team. So I don't want to come back around and hear on Saturday, "Oh, well, we didn't play our greatest, blah, blah, blah," bull crap. You had a whole month to get ready for this game. There's no reason why you guys can't be mentally, physically, emotionally prepared, for the game, But, I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. So it's gonna be fun. I'm actually interested in watching and tuning into that. All right, listen. Before we get down into the picks, I don't know. Maybe Trey, do you have NFL news? I heard you said you had NFL news.
I do. So we got Bengals news. Linebacker Jermaine Pratt has been placed on the COVID list.
Well, they're gonna lose.
And wide receiver Mike Thomas comes off the list, while Logan Wilson returns. So that's the Bengals news.
All right.
They're going to need
And
all the help they can get when it comes down to the game on Sunday against Kansas
so
City.
this is Steelers news, or kind of Browns news. A certain someone off of the Browns are out to embarrass Ben Roethlisberger. He claims he is going to pick off Ben Roethlisberger and Ben Roethlisberger's last game in Cleveland, and that is
Pittsburgh.
cornerback Denzel
last
Ward.
home game.
Last home game in Pittsburgh. Go ahead, Trey.
So he claims he's gonna pick off Ben Roethlisberger to embarrass him.
All I can say is we'll see about that because Cleveland is known for running their mouth one too many times. But yeah, we always prove what we can do. So yet, all I can say is we'll see on Monday night. We'll definitely see because I'm ready. Because like you said, like you see it here, it is a Big Ben's last home game, a career against.
And it's on a Monday night.
Monday night, prime time. What more can you ask for to have the Steelers Nation grab their terrible towels, wave them up in the air, and get a chance to watch Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers go up against the Cleveland Browns? Which, by the way, a lot of playoff implications with this game between both teams. And we'll get to that when we get to our picks.
Yeah, well, we'll save a little bit more about that at the very end. The last hot topics I want to just kind of go over. Indianapolis Colts have been are looking at a really good chance in the postseason this year. Carson Wentz goes out early this year with COVID. There's rumors about talking about calling Phillip Rivers back to quarterback for the Colts up until, because let's face it, Carson Wentz has not been playing to his full potential. Yeah, he had a good game last weekend, but after that. But how much does the Colts rely on Jonathan Taylor? Because it feels like each and every week, Jonathan Taylor brings in the W for the Colts.
I mean, you got to think about the Indianapolis offense. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is like one of the best players in the league, so to speak. So, yeah, Indianapolis relies on them because of how incredible he is at running the ball, at catching the ball. I mean, he pretty much practically carries this whole offense. You just get your line, you just get your receivers to be able to help do the blocking, and then Taylor can be able to be an incredible, outstanding monster out there. So they're going to have to rely on him big time, especially when they take on the Vegas Raiders on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. Does the Colts need to or should be looking to sign a quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who has already came out and stated that, hey, I'll play if you call me, knowing that they're heading into the postseason? I mean, Carson Wentz has not been playing the way they should be. I
don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm not going to say Wentz has been bad. He's not been terrible, but he's not been the best. But yet, whatever Indianapolis does, I mean, it better be good because if they win and the Titans lose, they clinch the division. So it is a make or break for the Colts on Sunday.
Well, all I'm trying to say is that you got the Colts. They're looking at it as a postseason opportunity. When Wentz his performance though is not going to last the Colts long in the postseason. Shall they make it? My opinion.
We'll see.
But I mean, what do I know? Exactly. All right. We got to step away one more time. When we come back, we'll get you the NFL picks coming up here on our last episode of the J&J Talk Show.
I tell you almost every night, and everything is true. The feeling that you're giving me whenever I'm with you.
What do you guys think about this one? I like this
I
one.
like it.
I like the one that you always put on.
Which one?
You always play it on the last
This is the
one.
one. This is the one that goes.
That
There we
one.
go.
Like that one?
Yep.
Or I got this one.
I'm gonna need safety. Tell the op can't snake me. Ray gun off safety. My girl so tasty. Tell her
Which
that
one?
she a world.
The first one or the second one?
I like the first one.
On screen daily. Stress on
First
fake.
I definitely like the
I
second
do.
one for me.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm just trying to like this is all there's a little entrance here. I gotta change the music. I don't want to be playing the same thing. I gotta definitely change the music a little bit up on our show because we've been playing the same thing for quite a while. We welcome in everyone into the StreamYard studio for the J&J Talk Show, final 20 minutes of the show. And we want to give thanks real quick to Placeit. Create your own mockups, videos, and logos through Placeit. Placeit's by Envato. Head on over to placeit.net and start your free trial today. Also want to send you guys over to Canva that makes that little commercial breaks. Canva, head on over to canva.com. Start making, I don't know, what videos, whatever you want. I don't know. I'm going to botch these. Last but not least, Epidemic Sound. Discover world-class artists, composers, and bands. Find your perfect soundtrack and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Epidemic Sounds is a licensed music and noise effect link. Check out the Epidemic Sounds for more information. All right, that's done because I didn't do that because the first 5 minutes of the show was a botch. That's gonna come out. I had a special
that's
video guys made
typical Adam.
honoring
Yes.
John Madden. Hey now. We're gonna end off the show on the right way. Well, I mean, listen, the botches of 2021.
This is Justin's new name, is Botch Machine.
Excuse me, sorry.
They had that on YouTube, Botchamania. This will be Botch YouTube. I don't know. I will eventually get everything correct one day. Listen, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Try to get everything in. All right, listen, NFL Week 17. Don't forget, there's no NFL game tonight. The 49ers and the Tennessee Titans were the last game on Thursday night this season. And we have ourselves a pretty big NFL Sunday. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not prepared for this, so I don't have any updates on the numbers that I said I would, and that's because I've been out of it the last couple of days, so I apologize. But let's get right down into it. First game of NFL Week 17, the Atlanta Falcons take on the Buffalo Bills. Who do you guys think are going to win?
Sure.
The Bills.
Plain and simple. I mean, Atlanta's trying to be able to fight their way to the playoffs, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. So give me the Bills.
Yeah, I'm going Bills too. So I'm just trying to give you Justin's, if he ever has his up and ready. Oh, I don't see it. Oh, well. You don't pick this game. All right. Second game of the week, New York Giants and the Chicago Bears.
Chicago.
A game that nobody really wants to watch, so yeah, give me Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Justin picked Chicago also. Trey.
Chicago.
He says Chicago.
All righty. Well, we got
My team
the
is
Kansas
New
City.
York.
Hey, Kansas City Chiefs, who just clinched their playoffs, their division playoffs, currently hold the first seed in the AFC, takes on Cincinnati Bengals at Cincinnati for the last home game. Who's going to win out of that one?
Ooh, this is a tough one. That's a really tough one. You look at both teams. I mean, especially with how incredible their run has been. Trey, no offense to you, and I do apologize, but I'm gonna have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs on this one.
You don't even have to ask me.
What did you pick?
I mean, fair enough.
Justin picked Cincinnati as well. You know what? I think Cincinnati being at home, they want the game a little bit more. I don't think they're going to win, but I'm going to select the Bengals also on this one as well. I think it just got to
Gotta go with the
gotta be
underdog.
fair. I do have to go with the underdog. I just want them to make it to the postseason, win one game, and then lose.
Yeah,
And that way we
I'll
can
be
get
fine
Trey to
with
shut
that
up.
too. I'll be
Get Trey
fine
to
with
shut
that.
We got the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Indianapolis Colts. We talked about this with the Colts with no Carson Wentz. Raiders don't look any more satisfying. So I really think that they're going to bring in that second string quarterback, and they're just going to be like, okay, hey, do what I tell you to do. We're going to win the game, and the Colts are going to walk away with the win.
Sure.
I'm going with Indianapolis.
With Pittsburgh's situation, Vegas is one of the teams that we need to lose, so I'm gonna have to go with Indianapolis on this one.
Yeah, Justin also chose the Colts as well in this scenario. All right, so we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New England Patriots. I think this one's a no-brainer. New England's going to win this one hands down.
That's who I'm picking too.
Plain and simple, New England. I mean, Jacksonville's done with. They're done with.
Oh gosh, they got worse since losing Urban Meyer earlier this season. Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the New York Jets in New York. Tom Brady, man. I mean, listen, you have like the Queen City bobblehead dolls right there on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got. I mean, who do you got? You got Gronkowski. You got Brady. They have AB, right? And you got LB
Brown.
too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Isn't
TB
Antonio Brown suspended though?
No, he's back. He's all
Is he
good.
back?
He's back.
Yeah, he's back.
So you got TB, AB, LB, and RG. You got to put them in and who would have thought? Like, would you ever thought that Tom Brady and Gronkowski would have ever played on the same team as the once big AFC rivalry Steelers with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell? Because they were a dynamic duo on the offensive side when they were in Pittsburgh together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but yet to me, no offense.
But now I think everyone's stroking ego here now.
No offense, but yet LB and AB are the two clowns in the league. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm choosing the Buccaneers. I think everyone's choosing the Buccaneers on this one as well. Coming up next is the Dolphins and Titans. I'm going Titans on this one.
I'm going with Tennessee too.
I'm gonna go with Miami on this one. I'm gonna go with Miami.
Okay.
Okay. That's surprising.
I'm gonna go with Miami because that win streak that they're on, I feel like they could be able to extend that win streak even more. So give me Miami.
Alrighty. We got Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington football team. No team has – I don't think that any team has playoff – well, the Eagles do have playoff implications, but
– Washington still does.
Washington still does. Yeah, but they have to win out, and they got to have all the other teams lose. And I hate to say this, but this is extremely likely. So I'm choosing the Washington football team, as a matter of fact, to beat the Eagles. Because here's the thing. Even if Washington doesn't make the playoffs, to ruin the Eagles' chances of making the playoffs will be much sweeter.
Yeah. I'm about to say the Philadelphia Eagles on this one because after that horrendous performance by Washington last week against the Dallas Cowboys, plain and simple, give me Give me Philadelphia on this one.
Okay. Trey?
Sorry.
You said that Washington played horrible last week, right?
They
Yes.
did. They didn't show up. I don't think it's because they probably didn't. They probably brought their own fucking benches, and they were cold as fuck over there.
No. The problem was they was fighting on the sidelines. They was
Yeah,
actually
because it
fighting.
was cold. They had to sit on the cold fucking benches. That know what he
All right,
did.
but I'm going with the Eagles, and
Oh my god!
I think they're going to play horrible again.
All right, fair enough. Pulled the fucking heat out of the benches for the Eagles. Maybe they'll play like crap. All right, so another morning. Actually, I would say that this is a morning game. No, this is an afternoon game actually. No, morning game. I'm sorry. Baltimore hosting the Rams, and I think this is a big a playoff implication. The Rams win. It looks like they win the division. While the Ravens win, they look to, with the Cincinnati Bengals loss, they could recapture first place. So this is a big game. I'm going with my Rams on this one. I think that they could lock in the deal. I know it's on the road. I know it's going to be cold, but I think the Rams have what it takes to win this game.
Plain and simple. Give me the Rams on this one because I believe Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp can be able to do another amount of performance. And plus, what's Baltimore's quarterback situation going to be for this Sunday? I mean, are they going to have Lamar, or are they going to end up having Josh Johnson?
Just bring up that one kid, that one backup quarterback from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Haskins.
Rudolph.
Nah.
Bring on.
Yeah. Go ahead and sign Rudolph.
I can see Phillip Rivers going to. I can see Phillip Rivers signing with the Ravens.
You love Phillip Rivers so much, so I don't know.
Well,
Give me the Rams
because,
on this one.
I don't love Phillip Rivers, but he was born and he wasn't born and raised, but he lives out in San Diego and has 17 kids. Was a San Diego, supporter and reached out to the community. So yeah, there's a reason why I respect Phillip Rivers, but he chokes so damn fucking hard. He chokes. He's a choker.
Yep.
So based on the beatdown that the Bengals gave the Ravens this past week, I'm going with the Rams.
Right.
And the Rams are going to embarrass the Ravens.
Your Rams
I
better
don't know
not
if they'll
let
be embarrassed, but every other game it seems like they don't show up, and every other game it seems like they are there. So, Denver Broncos over in Los Angeles. Denver Broncos over in Los Angeles in the afternoon game number 1. I'm going with the Chargers on this one.
I'm going to say the Chargers on this one as well. Plain and simple.
Okay. Who is it? Chargers and who?
The Broncos.
Oh.
Chargers need to look to get back in the postseason.
Excuse me.
I'll go with Chargers.
You think about this one. If the Ravens lose and the Chargers win, you're looking at the Chargers replacing the Ravens in the wild card.
Yeah.
Houston Texans over the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, this is an easy one.
Oh, that's no brainer. San Francisco 49ers. All three of us say 49ers.
There's going to be another 3 teams from the AFC West making it to the postseason this year. Do you guys like the 7 teams, or do you guys want to go back down to 6 teams?
I like the 7 teams. Makes things interesting, that's for sure.
You don't have to be 500 anymore in order to make it to the playoffs.
That's the beauty about it. That's the beauty about it.
Arizona Cardinals over in Dallas.
See, I don't think
I'm going Dallas on this one.
I don't think Arizona is the team that they were early on in the season. I think ever since they got the butt whooped by Green Bay, I'm going to go with Dallas.
Plain and simple. Give me them boys and them Dallas Cowboys.
Unfortunately. Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks, I think we're going to go this one with the Seahawks. But I guess the bigger question out of Seattle is that what is going to happen with Russell Wilson this offseason? He's talking about being traded. He's leaving. Who is he leaving to? Can you see him in the Steelers? Can you see him in the Steelers uniform? I was just about to say that. Or maybe
Yep.
a Ravens uniform. I mean, I don't know.
Oh.
Tennessee, maybe? No. But, I mean, don't want to be stupid. You want to go to a team that can actually have a good offense, especially good offensive line. I just don't
We'll
see
see
him
about
leaving
that.
Seattle. Oh, my goodness.
But as far as the game between the Lions and Seahawks, I'm gonna say screw it. Give me the Lions.
All right.
I am definitely
Alrighty,
not
son.
picking the Lions.
You're going Seahawks on this one. I'm going Seahawks too.
Yep.
All right, Sunday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. I got the Packers. Vikings ain't just not going to show up.
Packers ain't gonna lose.
Packers are going to demolish Minnesota for them not to be able to make it to the playoffs.
And last but not least, the main event of week number 17, the last NFL Monday Night Football game, the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The last home game for Ben Roethlisberger. And some people may be jumping in joy. The last home game, let me say the least. Some people may be jumping in joy, but I'm a little bit sad.
Happy.
I bet you are, but me, I'm very, very sad on this one.
You know why the Bengals shouldn't be happy? Because we don't know who or what the Steelers have in plan after this season.
Yep. So I think y'all can say I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Pittsburgh this offseason. But back to this game, plain simple. I hope Pittsburgh makes a tribute for Ben. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers on this one against them Cleveland Stinky Browns.
All right, I'm going to choose for Trey. He's choosing the Steelers anyways because it's been.
I really want Cleveland to embarrass Pittsburgh, but I have to pick Pittsburgh.
Just remember, if the Steelers beat the Browns are eliminated out of the playoff contention.
I want Pittsburgh to be eliminated.
And they lead. If the Ravens lose, then the Ravens are out of playoff contention.
Mm-hmm.
I want Pittsburgh to be eliminated.
Well, it's gonna be Cleveland on Monday.
But just like I told you, you know the consistency that Pittsburgh has been playing over the last few weeks, or as a matter of fact, this entire season. They haven't been the greatest, right? Baltimore you don't know what Sunday is gonna come each and every week. So do you risk taking the Ravens on a bad Sunday or a good Sunday, or do you want to play it safe and face a consistent, not so great Steelers team?
I love to face the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs, just so I can get this little pimp squeak to shut up about how many times they beat us this season.
I want to play the Ravens.
How many times have this Bengals beat their division in the playoffs? They're 0-3. They're 0-3 in the playoffs against their division. Oh my goodness.
And
well,
how
hey,
many
listen,
games have
you guys? How many games? What?
How many games have Bengals beat them this season? 2.
It doesn't matter how many games they beat them this season. It's about the games they win on the postseason because you won so many games. It's just great because you won so many games, but it's not about that. All right, you guys. Hey, listen. Last episode of the J&J Talk Show for now. We may bring it back at a later date. I think it kind of fits because, Jake and I are J&J, and Trey just, sleeps off in the corner a little bit.
J&T, so.
But I'm glad. I'm glad that we got to go to the J and Trey podcast. But beginning Sunday night, we got King Titan, you guys.
3-hour show.
King Titan, a special 3-hour episode for you. Oh, my goodness. I'm excited. All right. Well, hey, listen, hopefully everyone, we got football action this weekend, NCAA semifinals. We got some basketball. We got some NFL going on. All right. We got some professional wrestling, the day one pay-per-view on Saturday. We'll talk about that. Stay tuned.
Rampage tomorrow
We'll be
night.
changing into next time you guys see us will be the TNC brand, the Jay and Trey podcast, live this Sunday at 9 p.m. on YouTube. Check us out on all the audio services. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like, share, subscribe button, right? And don't be afraid to share with us with your friends and everything.
And go Bengals.
Go Bengals.
Steelers.
Have a great Happy New Year's, you guys. And
Happy
until
New
next
Year.
year,
Happy New
we'll
Year.
see you
Happy
guys
New
next
Year.
year. Signing out for the last and final time on the J and J Talk Show.